Hello and welcome to Suddenly Single, the new and hilarious dating podcast.
Where we're going to get our celeb mates to tell us about their dating disasters.
We're also going to have a few experts in the studio to tell us where you and I are going wrong.
Come on, and I don't think you've got enough makeup on.
I need the sun, I need inspiration, I just want to give.
On this episode of Suddenly Single, Tamzin Outhwaite, iconic actress. Do you know her personally?
No, I've never met her. But obviously I've seen her in EastEnders, Wives, and she's currently in a play, Abigail's Party, my favourite thing. She's also just split from her younger boyfriend, which is an interesting one because I might get myself a younger boyfriend.
I just want to give. Just want to get out of here.
Tamzin Outhwaite, thank you so much for coming on Suddenly Single. First question, are you single?
I am single.
Was it sudden?
Quite sudden, no. I've been single for a few months, and I think I've owed it to myself to be single for a long time.
Wow.
That's an interesting one. Owed it to yourself to be single. A relationship takes a lot of time up, right?
It does take time, and I'm in a relationship with myself and my children,
I love
and
it.
my ex, who I was with for 6.5 years, is still a very close friend.
And he's cool with it. So
Very
it was,
cool.
was it an uncoupling, as Gwyneth would say?
Absolutely was. It was
Yeah.
moving into a friend zone.
Okay. And both quite happy to move into the friend zone?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the perfect scenario, really, isn't it?
It's the
Both
most
of you. Because most times
humane-
one of you doesn't want to go there.
Obviously, I mean, someone always wants to not have a relationship more than the other one, but I think it was the most humane adult breakup.
And respectful.
Really
So
respectful.
you've obviously had respect all the way through it to come to that conclusion and still be pals.
Yes.
Did you say you got a dog together?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's always going to bring you, you know,
Yeah.
taking poop bags out and making
Exactly.
sure, you know,
We
clean
share
up.
a dog. So
Exactly. That's it. What type of dog is it?
It's a mini dash, but blonde mini dash.
Oh,
Don't even know what that-
Bowie.
It's a small Bowie.
Bowie.
Cool name.
different
Yeah.
colour eyes.
Brown eyes. Brown eyes.
Oh, cute.
Do you think men approach relationships more than women? Because you just said it's a lot of work, a relationship. And I would even put my hand up and say, men, I always say that when it comes to relationships, emotionally, if you're playing on the same chessboard, and they're all black and white moves, and you the woman's the black and I'm the white, we're moving on the same board, but I'm playing drafts.
And I've checkmated
And
you.
I'm thinking 3 or 4 moves emotionally in a relationship, whereas a woman will have emotionally thought out so many things ahead of the game and steered it in a certain direction. Do you think that's a fair assumption?
I think that's deep. That's so deep.
That's the only deep thing you're going to offer me today. That's the only.
I mean,
That's
there
what
is
the
a
conversation
huge
was.
generalisation with men
Yeah.
and women, which makes me think I probably think more like a man then.
Oh, so you just would just
Because
go
I-
with the flow.
I'm very much go with the flow, trying to stay in the moment. And there isn't anything from a partner that I need, you know, not kids, not marriage, not money, not. So therefore, I feel quite free.
Yeah.
I feel
And-
intimidated already. Because men like to feel somewhere along the line that
Like they're very needed, you mean?
or not necessarily in charge, but you know, the alpha male type of thing.
Yeah, I think I'm quite alpha for a woman.
I think you've both hit the nail on the head because there's that saying, isn't it? The most happy woman is a single woman and the happiest man is a married one.
Yeah, I
Really?
can believe that.
Yeah.
I've not heard that.
That's
phrase
interesting.
before.
I've never heard
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really hoping to stay single. I mean, I've just met Jan Leeming,
Yes.
who's
Yes.
in her 80s,
Yeah.
who said to me she's been single for 24 years, and I see that her as an icon.
She's definitely an icon. But would you really want to be single for decades? Really? As in, what do you define by single? Not having to be responsible for somebody else's.
Yeah, I just want to continue the relationship I'm having with myself at the moment. I haven't ever been single and happy.
Okay.
So the only times I've been single, I've either been heartbroken or unhappy, and then organically another relationship's come along.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I'm extremely happy and single.
So that's,
So
yeah.
I really want to hold on to it.
Yeah, why rock the boat at the moment?
Yeah.
What is it that you love about it, though? But being able to watch Netflix in bed by yourself without having to turn it over. I mean, what is it? What are the things?
Just only considering my feelings and my children's feelings is really important to me. And I feel like I'm quite balanced at the moment, and I want to do a bit of travelling, and I like doing that alone. And so not being responsible for someone else's feelings or somebody else's anything.
See, I think that's extremely grown up and brave, because I'm working up to my first time going away alone. I haven't done it yet. I've done an overnighter for work or what have you. But yeah, I think that's a really interesting thing, that you would feel confident to go anywhere in the world on your own.
Yeah.
Just read a book at dinner, sunbathe by yourself, and not. That's fine.
I mean, I think the space and sometimes the silence is something that I really crave.
But do you think you crave it? Because your kids are still quite young.
Yeah.
They're teenagers,
Yeah.
and one is not quite a teenager. That is a very, very busy home life. And
It
I
is.
do remember when I had a partner and 2 stepkids and my own child, and, you know, it was so busy that I loved it if I ever had an entire night when nobody was there. Yes.
Yeah.
Now I have loads of that time, not quite so
So now you
entertaining
want a
and
bit more of
interesting.
the other.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So maybe because I've only been single for a few months, I'm now in the space where also my dad, who's 78, lives with me at the end of my garden in a cabin that I had built for him. So
Oh, wow.
at my house is
Okay.
loud, it's
Yes.
busy.
Yeah.
2 dogs, 2 kids. Dad's at the end of the garden. You know, I have some help with the children, and she has 2 kids. She's like my right-hand woman.
Okay.
You've
So
got a
your house
tribe.
is always full.
So we've got a tribe, and
Yeah.
our tribe is a busy, noisy, fun one.
So maybe that is why you like the silent time.
So when I'm away from that, I think it's quite, So at the moment, I don't feel like I have the headspace or the heart space for a relationship.
Because added to that, you have an extremely successful professional life.
Well, at the moment, like for instance, you know, it's as an actor, I could be trying to raise funds for a short film that I'm doing next week, but where I am at the moment, I'm doing 8 shows a week at Stratford East, and so we only get Sunday together as a family. And to distribute your time, what I was feeling like when I was in a relationship was that I was doing everything a bit half-heartedly. I couldn't give anyone everything. And then realise that you're compromising yourself.
So do you think there's a correlation in the fact that you've had a particularly successful, high-profile success with the play at the moment is because you stepped back and concentrated on yourself?
I wouldn't have been able to do the 4 weeks rehearsal and all of that if I was in a relationship. Like this particular production, I literally felt like when the decks were cleared, all the files in my head I could close them down and concentrate on what I was doing.
Emotionally more intelligent women, whereas the men would go, I'm not sure I could do all this unless somebody was helping me out emotionally and supporting me and making sure I was getting in the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
and
but I
saying,
know
"Well,
exactly
great."
what you mean, Tim, but then I would feel like half a person because I wouldn't be able to give it back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I would rather not have the responsibility of people needing me while I'm so busy at work.
So do you think you'll ever get to a point where you want to date again?
Not yet.
You had a long marriage, a long relationship. Did you meet through work? Did you meet through apps? Have you ever been on an app?
So I have never been on an app. The last time I went on a date was with my ex, who I was with for 6.5 years. I hadn't been on a date before that for 100 years. And so now I don't know how you'd go about dating. Thankfully, I'm really not interested.
Really?
I just don't know where I'd fit it into my life.
So your last relationship, because this is something that I'm personally fascinated with, was with someone who was younger than you. Do you think that is a good, that works?
I would never rule it out, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a wonderful 6.5 years. I think about it very, very fondly. And I think we'll always know each other. it was the most mature, respectful and humane breakup ever. So now I'm not sure that I want to be responsible for anyone else's heart at the moment, apart from my own and my children.
I don't think I've had many relationships where it's split up and it's been that respectful.
Really?
No, not really. Not to the point of you've got genuine warmth and affection for what you both gave to each other.
But I think it's very rare that you both want out, or not want out, but that you both agree that it's fine. We're just going to be friends.
But what are the alternatives? I mean, I think you get to my age, I want it to be, you know, my children had 6.5 years with him too. So it's their feelings that I'm always taking into consideration.
Yeah.
So I suppose now the idea of dating someone, I certainly wouldn't let anyone move in with me.
Okay.
And
is your dad down the end of the garden?
Yeah.
Does he put the light on if he likes somebody and goes flashes twice? Good.
No, don't come down tonight, Dad. No. I mean, the idea of, I don't know where I'd start with dating. It's like, I know people that have been on apps, all sorts of apps. And the idea, the clinical kind of sanitized version of yourself appearing on a screen, not getting a vibe from someone.
That is the worst thing.
I always go on energy and vibes and someone's aura and the way that they are. So how do you do that? By looking at a screen? You can't tell, can you?
Nobody can tell, but I think the other misconception for people, particularly like you two, is if you're a presenter or you're an actress, people assume that you're always out and that you're easily meeting people. And actually, I think you're less accessible because people will think, oh, I'm not going to go over there. She's going to think I want a picture or an autograph or what have you. It must be more difficult to meet people.
Yeah.
Outside of your circle.
Yeah, I suppose you meet people through work sometimes. Yeah. I would say the idea of actually going on a date fills me with horror.
Why?
Well, so somebody sets you up, or I also think about all my single girlfriends who have been single for a long time. I feel like, you know, they'd be like, back of the queue, mate. It's only just started for you, this singlehood. And we've been waiting. And I'm always on the lookout for single men for them or single women. Because my female friends that are single, I always feel like they hold themselves to quite high standards. So I'm always looking. And there seems to be more single women than men.
I think because women can be single, they're quite good at being on their own and men aren't. Sorry.
Is that what
He's getting a bashing today.
Really?
I'm very sorry.
No, but
is that what you think?
I do. I think men don't like it. I think
not
if
so
men
good
can
alone.
couple up, unless they're unusual like you and Elliot, I think most men like to couple them up immediately. How many times do you see men get divorced or leave someone because they've got someone else? Have you ever seen a man leave a relationship for nothing, for no one, except obviously if they're younger? They seem to have got it together better.
Yeah, I think you're right.
what's the bit that fills you with horror though about going on a date?
Just the awkwardness of it all.
Well, the fact that you're
it is
strangers to
awkward.
there's okay.
Yeah.
That's a recurrent theme though with people that we've had on.
It's meeting a stranger.
It's more pronounced with older celebs that we've had on, like a Debbie McGee or somebody that's older. She said, I'd like to meet somebody, but the fact that they'd expect me to kiss them and the intimacy of, I just want somebody
They
to
don't
meet.
expect you to kiss them.
Well,
though,
that's
do
what
they?
she's.
Yeah,
no, they
thought
don't.
that.
But that's what she said, and that's what it represents. Because there is a bit of, you know, some people can just jump in and out of bed with all kinds of people, and that's fine, and that's what they want to do. But if you don't want to do that, it's quite forced, isn't it? Until you know somebody socially. But like a lot of the people that you meet socially, you have to have a bit of something between you, and if it's not there, it's not there.
Oh, it's all energy.
You've got to be in the
got to
race to
be.
win it, though. You've got to put yourself out.
Well, you've got
somewhere.
to want to go
You've
on
got
a
to
date.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the moment, even if somebody
Yeah.
said Brad Pitt's coming over and really wants to take you out, I'd still be like, no.
Really?
At the moment.
Really?
You
Yeah.
can ring me when that happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's that thing, isn't it, of like, oh no, just that's the space I'm in. The space I'm in is the liberation and the freedom of being on my own is far more important than having a date with anyone.
And also, you only get a finite amount of time with your kids, don't
Yes.
you?
I mean, they want to hang out with me sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's going to change soon.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, once they get mates and move on, that might be the time where, I feel a bit lonely and I might want to go
Yeah.
on a date. But at the moment, I mean, cut to, who knows what happens with life. But I do believe in fate, and I do believe in it being about your connection with somebody. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure that seeing someone on a screen and it telling you, I mean, what would you, the idea of me even going, interests, likes, you know, I don't know.
Well, I mean, on mine it just says coffee lover. I'm actually an alcohol lover, but I mean, I don't think that looks
That's
very
what I mean.
good. So
Everyone's lying before they've even got to the
well, it's
date.
not a lie. I do love
but
coffee, but
Irish coffee. But the flip side to that is if you were at the bar and you thought Brad Pitt, whoever's that, I don't know if they're single or not. At least on the app, you're going, as a rule, some people lie, but generally they are single, and that is roughly their age, and they fancy you from the photographs at least. Let's have a coffee.
It's
You're
the only
moving to the
starting
next
point.
level of
Yeah.
at least seeing somebody.
Yes.
Do you have friends that have had long-term relationships and you think, how do you do it?
Yes, but I don't feel, there's no kind of envy about it. I never feel like, I wish I could find someone I could be with forever.
Yeah.
I think I'm just in a situation where I just want to be by myself. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens to women when they get a bit older. But it's the time, you know, it's such a precious thing, time. And I just owe it to myself to have some time where I'm happy and alone.
with your kids.
Yeah, I think the kids is a
exactly.
big thing, isn't
Absolutely.
it? You know,
Yeah.
it really slows the time down and speeds it
Yeah, it
up.
really does.
Have they started dating yet?
No, too young.
Yeah.
But for instance, my mates that have got really good relationships that I look at, you know, some of my favourite couples to hang out with, and I'll hang out on my own with them, at least 2 or 3 couples, and I love being around them because they're really healthy, fun relationships.
How do they make it work then? Where are we going wrong? I don't mean you.
I don't know. Well, they make it work because they kind of evolve together. They change
yeah.
and evolve together.
The difficulty is, at my age now, being single, you've got to compromise on, you don't share the same children, you know, you haven't worked out.
That's just life though, isn't it? You know.
No, I know it is, but what I'm saying is I think those people that have been together for 30 years or what have you, they've evolved together and it's worked for whatever reason. And when you get to your 50s, you're probably just going to stay there now.
Do you mean single?
No, together.
Oh, you mean together?
I thought-
Yeah. They've got their home, their kids
Yeah.
are happy, they get on fine. Why are you going to change that now? I think most people do at some
There's
point
still a lot to be-
decide to stay together.
Yeah, but there are still some people who will make it work until the kids leave home.
And
And
I've
then-
seen
Oh,
that
yeah,
too.
I've seen a lot of that,
too.
like until the kids are of an age. Personally, I find the idea of being with the same person for the rest of my life horrifying.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's lovely.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
But you've had 2 long relationships,
Yeah.
so you can see it from the other side. Whereas
Oh,
I would
yeah.
I'd like to find somebody that wants to be the Christmas after next, and we can make those plans.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's just the fresh mindset I'm in is just
Yeah.
desperate for time alone.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot to be said for people that stay in relationships forever because there's no way they were going to walk out. There's no way they would divorce.
Yeah.
It's like they'll get through it together. I
Yeah.
mean, that's like pure love. You just think, hats
It's evolving
off.
love as well,
It
isn't
is.
it? And it's a lot of respect there as well.
Yeah, and I've got so much respect for people that do that. But I also now don't think that we're necessarily meant to be with one person for the rest of our lives.
Do you think
Some
there
of
is
us.
the one?
Some of us.
Do you think there's the one, or do you think there's several
No,
the ones?
there's several the ones.
Yeah, I think that we were talking
I
about
think
that.
the one is you, and you really have
Oh,
to
I
get
love
to
that.
know you.
The one is you.
Because I spent a lot of time chasing relationships, chasing men, trying to please, you know, trying to make things work, when really I neglected me, and so now that's my relationship.
I think I've got better at the one is me.
Have you?
Yeah, but I think if you ask me man-wise, I think there's one and then you can make it work with others.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just really happy that I managed to fit my children into my childbearing
Yeah.
years. I don't need anything from anyone.
Yeah.
And I think I feel really lucky
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
a result of that. So therefore, that I don't feel like there is the one out there.
I'm with you.
Are
I'm with
you?
you, yeah. And I also think feeling lucky is a great feeling to have because you appreciate things.
Of course, the gratitude of like I managed to have children and a full career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and they still like me. That's enough.
That I have massive gratitude for that.
Yeah.
She's probably watching. You like me, right? That's massive. That's massive. We're really good friends. I mean, you've met my daughter.
And
We
does-
are good friends.
Does
Yeah,
your
very
daughter
much,
try
yeah.
and fix you up on dates or anything?
No, but a funny thing happened when my mum, your dad, my own mother rang up and she said to my daughter, put your mother on that. She's utterly hopeless at finding anyone for herself. And my daughter was really laughing. I suppose if I regret anything, it's not having a break and giving her any time just for her when she was younger.
I really feel that at the moment.
Yeah.
I really feel like they need me around.
So will you talk about holidays and you've got a very busy career and busy life with family and stuff. Would you take a holiday on your own? Could you do that?
Oh yeah, but I often go solo. I do solo retreats, so I'll go somewhere to retreat so that I come back, and then I've got the juice to give again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So you
So
recharge
that's
your
how I do.
batteries.
Is I class it as a recharge really, and so I'll find it, and then I set up a charity called We Free Women where we actually do that for women that can't afford it. So they're
wow.
completely fully funded retreats.
Oh, amazing.
So I'll go, but after all this showing off in theatre and on telly, which is what I like to call it, after all the showing off finishes, I'll be able to literally start thinking about the next retreat that we can do for people.
Why is it called We Three Women?
We Free Women just because we are free.
Okay.
And we help free others.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
just, our motto is paying it forward, and you can't pour from an empty cup. And there are so many women that need it but don't have the money to go on a retreat.
And what is the retreat? Like a yoga retreat?
It's wellness, it's mindfulness, and we just give them the tools. It's life affirming stuff.
Yeah.
We change people's lives,
Yeah.
literally.
Right, I think it's time for us to bring our expert in,
Oh.
who's going to probably hopefully help us as much as you. I don't think you need any help, actually. It's us.
We all need help.
Well, we all need help, but I think you're quite clear and thought through of where you are in your life with regards to relationships
Yes.
and other things.
Yeah.
We less so, or me less so.
Well, no, definitely me less so at the moment.
You two seem like you both really want to go on dates.
We are
Definitely
tragically
true, yeah.
lonely.
It's not tragic. It's not tragic. It's open. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just not open to that at the
I
minute.
just wanna give. Just wanna get out of here.
Nina Mandare, please meet Tamzin. She needs no help at all, but maybe you can give some direction to at least me.
Yeah, because you're an empowerment coach.
I am.
I feel Tim needs a little bit of empowerment.
Yeah, bit of pep in my tank.
Yeah.
In a few of the Suddenly Single podcasts, the word or the feeling pheromone is discussed and mentioned. That you have some kind of biological, spiritual connection with somebody, and you just have it. My question is pheromone just a normal physical, chemical thing in your body that's a good thing to go with, or is a pheromone affected from your parenting, and it could be you could have false pheromones that are going, you're attracted to that person, it's making you feel all whatever, but you shouldn't be because it's the wrong person? Or is a pheromone a good indication of the right person?
I think it depends on where you're at in yourself. Very much so, because when we have this kind of chemical reaction that's going on within, and we have these unhealed wounds from the past, if you're wired for chaos, so if you've come from...
I'm wired for chaos.
Right, so then that sets this whole sort of trauma response or cortisol response going on in the body, and we think that's the spark then, and this person that's unavailable, that has those traits of people of the past, we're like, that's the spark. I've had it, you know, we've been there, we've learning from those things. But I also think on the other side, when you've worked on some things and you're in that now healthy space, that like you said, energy and connection Pheromones. I was like,
I think I used to be wired for chaos, but I'm training myself to be wired for calm.
right.
I need more training.
We need rewiring. That's what we need. We need a good bloody electrician.
Yeah.
They're hard
Yeah.
to find.
Yeah, they are hard to. But everything that you've said about you've worked on yourself, you're in the right place, is what you are actually saying. Generically, anybody with any particular relationship or issues is to work on yourself first. That's the basics.
Absolutely.
So the pheromone could be right if you fancy, if you've done the work beforehand.
Yeah, it's the healing journey, I think.
Yeah.
Once you're on a healing journey, you don't settle for anything that unless it enhances your life. I'm not going to feel incomplete while I'm single.
Yeah.
I'm feeling complete. So the only way someone's going to come along is if they enhance it as opposed to, and not for a long time, because I'm liking the new complete me.
Yeah, and the thing is, we've been kind of, society says singleness is a bad thing, but it's not. It's a beautiful time to spend with ourselves, to learn from the past, to get back in touch with ourselves. Like, what do we actually want?
Yeah.
What do we like doing? What we do for joy? Solo travel, yes.
Yeah. So true.
Are you looking at me like, what do I like to do for joy?
For joy.
We know what I like to do for joy.
I know what you like to do, Joy. The goldfish bowl of truth.
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I do. I
Oh,
love
yes.
that.
Yeah. Just wanna get out of here.
Tamzin,
going
would you
in?
like to pick out a question from the goldfish bowl
Yes.
of truth? And you might as well take yours for now, but don't read it out yet.
What is the best compliment someone has given you on a date? What, for someone that hasn't been on a date for absolutely years and has probably only been on 2 before that? I literally don't do dates. So the best compliment that someone's given me on
Outside of it, just a romantic.
a romantic compliment. It will probably be it's boring, but it's something about my energy, not about the exterior of how I look. And they don't know your interior yet, but they're spiritually connected to themselves. So them saying something about my energy means that they're probably in a really good place themselves.
And they recognise something in
and they
you
recognise
personally.
something that is as important as energy.
Yeah. I think people, if I've been on dates with people, God, you're a lot funnier than I thought you would be.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think
that's
we've
when I've still got
established.
clothes on.
No, I have said that to you. What is the must-have in a partner? I've also answered this one. Sense of humour.
Yeah,
Absolute must-have
absolutely.
For joy.
for joy.
What was yours?
And to be unavailable.
Have you ever been asked out by someone of the same sex? So I have, and I just give them the cuddle and it's like, not my cup of tea. Thanks though. Still a compliment, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think absolutely in this day and age as well. I think it compliments a compliment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And me. Tamzin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And, you know, I love women, so, but haven't
It's
ever
just if
been
you
on a
don't
date
have that
with one.
gene, you don't want to cross that line. But yeah.
Have you ever been unsure if you were on a date?
Oh, yeah.
Have you?
That just means
Well-
you realise somebody fancies you and you didn't realise.
I just don't, because I don't understand the whole dating game. Like you were saying earlier about, like, there's dating and then there's,
Oh yes, this whole thing about
Flirting and-
seeing somebody, dating. If you don't say all of these new rules, if you don't say you're exclusive, because I did see someone for about a year and I couldn't get my head around it, and someone explained it to me. He didn't think that dating was the same thing as seeing somebody, because seeing somebody was apparently on another level where you just saw them. And even though we were dating, which I thought, well, obviously we're dating because we went on a holiday and everything. No, that wasn't exclusive, but I hadn't asked if we were exclusive. Sorry, to me, at my age, that's cheating. Come on, you just,
Absolutely.
come on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Is dating like being open to lots of different people?
Well, apparently so.
Well,
but-
when have you got the time?
Well, also, the other thing is,
Who's got the time?
I get 1, 2, maybe 3 dates where you're just thinking, I don't know, I'm not sure. But honestly, 6 months down the line, if you're still not sure, why are you still here?
That sounds like a perpetual bachelor, though. And it's not so
Yeah,
much.
he
The,
was.
it's not so much the time; it's the energy.
Yeah.
Whenever you read about or hear about somebody that has 2 families and 2 sets of... Think,
Yeah.
why bother? What is the
I
point
mean,
in all
yeah.
that?
And the poor kids.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
horrible.
yeah.
Anyway.
And on that bombshell, thank you for coming to Suddenly Single.
Yeah, thank you, Tamzin.
Thank
It's
you.
been
I've loved
great.
it. I've loved it.
Aw.
Yeah. Just wanna get out of here. Woke up feeling good.
On the next Suddenly Single, we're joined by the esteemed broadcaster Jan Leeming, who talks about turning down A-listers but still looking for love in her 80s.
I'm